Hello, and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined once again by Chris as we continue our journey along the Graboid Trail. Tonight we're discussing Night of the Shriekers and a little paranoia among friends from the Tremors TV series. Created in 2003, the show picks up where Tremors 3 left off. It follows the people of perfection as they attempt to coexist with the Graboid, El Blanco. I got that out all at once.
That was
Way! Almost professional. Check that out.
It was extremely professional until you yelled "yay."
Well, come on. Don't want to give people false expectations.
Oh, that was awesome.
We'll start becoming what do you call it, a TV studio show, for an hour. We'll all wear the makeup for the lights and, have assistants and stuff. That's when we need to have a word with ourselves.
Oh no, I was going to ask you if I could get some makeup.
Whatever floats your boat.
My wife just turns off the lights usually, and that doesn't help for a video podcast.
Got a face for radio, a voice for print, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
I love these two episodes.
Yes.
I think the show is like hitting its stride. It's getting better.
This is how did this not go on? My God.
No.
Night of the Shriekers, right? This is my favorite episode to date. Like, definitely, this is straight out horror.
100%. I was gonna say it's better than the movies, and I started to think about it. It's like, well, obviously the first one is iconic. The second movie was good. The third movie was pretty good, and then I love the fourth one. So maybe it's not.
Tremors 4 is my favorite prequel of all times.
Yeah,
like that's easily my favorite prequel. Any prequel that's ever been put out there, Tremors 4, that's the template you should follow.
I agree. So I was gonna say, so it's definitely better than 5, 6, 7, but that's not really a big thing because every episode has been better than 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, God,
so that's not a high mark. So all I can say is, so all I can really say is it's just the best episode of the season, which it is. It was great.
Yep. I'm really on board with this one. And I just love. I've made references here to certain film franchises, and I was, when I do my notes as I'm going through the episode.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And then, sure enough, I'm rewarded because then they make the direct reference to the franchise that they're mentioning. And I'm like, oh yes, we're on the same page. That's. I get you get me,
Yeah, that's what I forget sometimes because it has like the feel of like an 80s or a 90s show. Sometimes I forget that it was 2003, so Jurassic Park had already come out. Like all the the movies that you had referenced were in fact out there, So yeah, they're with you. They heard you.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. When you're picking up the references they're putting down, and they're not like, we'll go back to Tremors 7. Like, that's the worst way to slap you right in the head with the references, to franchises like the beat you that it's so painful. It's like, okay, I got it. Stop now. Please stop. Yes, I got it the first 5 times. Oh, for God's sake, please stop it.
Exactly. Make it end. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Levi agrees with us.
It was awesome.
Such a fun episode. And what I love so far is everyone is slightly tonally different. Like, we haven't had a rinse and repeat yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is 7 episodes.
Yeah, you'd think like for only having, like you said, 7 or 8 episodes, that there would be some repetition already, and then as this as the shows went on, they'd have to find ways to make it different. But they've already made it different. Yes, every episode, so you never know what the next one is to come. And episode 7 versus episode 8 was drastically different too. The 2 episodes that we're covering today are like night and day, but both entertaining, but just very, very different.
That's when you have a bit of imagination. You can take an idea and you can freshen it up. And also, while they're totally different, they're still Tremors. It's still the characters. It's still perfection. They haven't went and deconstructed anything.
Right.
They've stayed with the actual theme, and that the characters, as I always say, the characters are important. They've got the characters, and all to do is to put the characters in believable situations in that universe.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's so obviously one of the themes that they keep bringing on is the government, various government agencies, private entities. Everyone in the world's aware of the Graboid phenomenon, and of course, people are going to try and capitalize on it.
I love that they picked up that thread from the second movie where you saw like the arcade and you saw the magazine covers, and because to me that makes it a little bit more realistic. I mean, for such a monumental event from the from the first movie, if they had just kind of like buried it and like no buried it, but if they had like made it like where no one had heard about it, it just wouldn't have seemed believable. So I love that aspect where it's a known phenomenon now and you have people coming on the tour. I just think that's a fun element that they
Yeah,
have
and
on the show.
it makes sense, and there's still people going, yeah, this is a con. Like when Travis is given the tour, and people are like, yeah, how come you only ever see the Graboid and we don't, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's believable. That's today's world, Yeah, you can say something's urban until you physically see it with your own eyes. You're never 100% sure, and of course, can't trust TV or the media. You have to always take it with a pinch of salt and dig behind. You can't initially react to something on media that's put in front of you now. Especially it's all designed to wind you up.
Yeah, that's the first time they've really touched on something that's almost a little political, but it really didn't hit you over the head with it. But that's like a real issue where they were 21 years ahead of. That's a very big problem nowadays between like fake, what they call fake news in the States, and they have the artificial intelligence where you could create pictures and make it seem like someone did something or was in a place that they really weren't. Like it's tough for anyone to believe what is true, and they were dealing with that in a light way 21 years ago, because people don't believe in a lot of people don't believe in the graboids. We've seen that several episodes now where it's some people do and some people don't.
Well, it makes sense as well. Plus, American culture, and use with the cryptids and everything else. Uh, over here with the Loch Ness monster, it's people like monster stories, and people will try to get, they'll do the grainy photograph. Oh, there it is, and get it,
Yeah.
and that's fine. The difference is today that instead of becoming more sophisticated with the lies, what they do is they use bullying. So you don't believe this, you're a terrible person. It's like, okay, right. I instantly don't believe you now. We're actually hiding the truth because we're using it. The 3D chess is being played. That's what they do
Right.
now. Instead of because with a camera you can, if somebody took a grainy picture with a camera, you'd be like, really? Yeah, right. The latest I thing or S thing, you take a grainy picture. I don't think so. You know what I mean? It's cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
It's true.
But the game's still the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting tough. Who to believe? What news source do you trust? It's
You don't trust any of them. Think
yeah.
about it. What the news channels do, they're there to make money by getting you
Right.
to click, watch, whatever. So
Yeah.
they're gonna, they're either gonna slant their bias or they're gonna make up absolute waffle, and then the retractions are always, I mean, their front page is always the big story, but the retractions are always page 9 or 10, a tiny paragraph, and
Right.
it's
Right. Right.
always been like that.
Yeah. That's why I stick to YouTube for my
Yeah,
information.
because there's no lunatics on YouTube talking shite, is there?
Oh, oh.
Yeah. You're stupid. Or what's that most condescending tone? Educate yourself. That's such a
Yeah.
Damiankastani term. Educate yourself. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Cunt.
Yeah.
Anyone who says that to me instantly loses the argument.
Yeah.
I'm an expert. Piss off. If you're selling it, I'm probably not buying it, and it doesn't matter. It's like the salesperson on the end of the phone. If you're ringing me to sell me your product, it's shit.
That's true.
If you've got something worthwhile, I'll find it. because I'll be looking for it. And if you've got the best product, guess what? I'll find out.
Right.
But if you're having to approach me, then nah.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to take it all with a pinch of salt and don't emotionally react.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is don't get that, don't get your dopamine fix. Don't instantly jump on the bandwagon. You just sort of step back and go, yeah, maybe not, because 9 times out of 10, the bandwagon's falling off a cliff.
It's true.
But yeah, this is a really cool episode. It's got all government conspiracies. Thing that got me though is Bert didn't radio in before he went to investigate something. Like sometimes there are a man so prepared he's not prepared.
Yeah, so I started to think about that. In my head canon, he probably had radioed in about 12 times that day, and then it got to the point where the rest of the group had just tuned him out. So he the last few times they didn't even pick up. So he's like, forget it. I'm just gonna check this out on my own. That's the only reason that makes sense, because in every other scene, he's always keeping everyone in the loop. So that's the only thing, is he was just tired of being ignored because he's called them 12 times to remind them to put a backup generator in, and so.
Oh, we'll get to that. Oh, that's yeah. We'll get to that line. I should have actually put that in the notes. But oh my god,
there's so many great lines in this one.
This is Bert at his best. This episode is
Yeah.
Bert, pure Bert Gummer unfiltered.
Yes.
Pure distilled Bertness. And we're getting loads of Bertitude, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, he's the best. Thank goodness this franchise had him, I tell you.
Yeah, so he goes to investigate and of course encounter. I love the way he has a normal rifle and then he hears that he suspects the Shriekers, so he's like, nah. And he picks out the AK variant, whatever he had.
The right tool for the right job. That's what my dad always said.
Instead of just having the one tool and loads of mags, but hey ho. But yeah, he's away. He encounters the Shrieker and he's like, what I love as well, actually, he's not firing in full automatic. I hate movies that are always firing in full automatic. That's the worst way to fire.
What do you mean, emptying the whole clip, you mean? Or?
Yeah, because, right, a magazine, 30-round magazine, right? You fire that in a full auto, it's gone in 3 seconds. Plus, the rifle goes, brrr, it always goes off. You ever try it? It's brrr, and it also damages the spring. So if you're doing that, the thing overheats, you're damaging the spring, you're likely to get a thing called a cook-off.
Okay.
That's, the thing heats up. There's oil, between the working parts. That heats up too, like cooking oil. And bullets go bang.
So you got to give it some space so it doesn't overheat.
So you know what I mean? The automatic's only for close quarter type stuff, briefly. But generally, you're actually more effective if you're single shots.
Single shot. Oh, interesting.
You can get loads of rounds down the range and keep somebody's head down longer. Every 2 seconds, bang, 1, 2, bang, 1, 2, bang. There's 1 minute 20 for a 30-round magazine.
Wow, I never thought about that.
You can get that where freaking full,
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good
we're not
tip
seeing him.
Good tip for you kids out there.
Yeah. this channel is nothing if not educational.
Don't waste ammo, kids.
But I just love the fact that he's boom, takes it out straight away, and then all of a sudden he's surrounded. Right. But I have one bugbear, and this has annoyed me for decades.
Uh-oh.
Why can't Americans shape berries?
Oh, the beret, the hat.
Why can't it's not hard. Cool water, hot water, on, shape it properly. No, you don't just fucking throw the thing in your head like a pilot, like fucking helicopter landing pad. Oh, if I had a berry like that, I'd have been bounced around the parade square. If you turned up and prayed with a fucking berry like that, you'd have been. It was called a wee berry because it's just sort of, oh yeah, you've got a wee berry on. Wee, I fucking go and get it. You can't, you know what I mean? That was it. Go visit the tree of knowledge and learn. Ask it how to put on a fucking berry. Then you had to run up the furthest freaking tree, and then you had to scream at the top of your lungs, "Please, oh tree of knowledge, how do I put a berry on properly?" Right, and you come back. Fucking stupid.
We're finally getting to the important questions. I love it. The funny thing
Oh,
is, I love watching these with you because I could have watched this 100 times. I never would have picked up on it. And now, because I watch it twice, because I watch it like right away after the last, because I'm so anxious to like watch the next one because I'm enjoying it so much. So I watched this right after the last, episode that we filmed, the review. And then I decided like I really want to be like smarter on this, so I watched it again last night so I could remember like the minutia. And like I said, after you mentioned that to me, now that's all I could see. That's and every time I watch
on
it,
top of his head.
yeah.
Like you could land a Starship Enterprise on top of it. It was like, what is that?
But you know what I did like about them was that they were so respectful of Bert. Like he said, like he had read all of Bert's I forget the term.
Watch his videos. They
watch his videos and
they're aware of the phenomenon and we've taken your advice on board, sir.
Yeah. Oh my god, they were so respectful. They had I thought that was so cool. It's such a better way of going about it than, I know we talked about
sequel
this
trilogy.
ad nauseum, the sequel trilogy where they deconstruct Bert and put him down and make fun of him, like no one takes him seriously. Like this is a military group and they're respecting the citizen. I thought that was so cool and justified because, like I said in my previous one of my crazy theories, like he's accounted for 99% of all the graboid kills and keeping of the entire human population.
Armies try to take on the graboids.
Yeah.
And we've had government agents. How many times has the government agency tried to, we've got this sussed, dead.
Yeah.
And yet imperfection, because they're so used to him that they take the piss out of him. So he's not put up in this mad pedestal of, he is brought down a peg, but he's brought down nicely. Who are the best people to keep you in check? Your friends, your family.
Yeah.
So you don't become this idiot with sycophants around you. Because imagine Bert being surrounded by sycophants all the time.
That'd be terrible.
You warp him.
Yeah.
We've got that balance, that he's got the respect of the character that he is. But he's brought home the earth as well.
Right. I just enjoyed that level of respect that he's earned,
Yeah, and then he organizes the time. Oh God, another time meeting. You could just hear everybody visibly sigh on the other end of the radio. And yeah, sure enough, enter mysterious doctor. She should have had like villain music playing.
Yeah, so right away I realized that there was something nefarious about her, but then I thought, maybe she was being duped as well. And then later on in the episode, we see that she's really not who she makes herself out to be. But that's becoming a running theme too, a little bit, is the the evil doctors, the Frankenstein.
Well, of course, because it's that's the sort of people who are going to be attracted to these.
Yeah.
No, it's like a moth to a flame, mad scientist, human eating underground worm that metamorphosizes into things. That's mad scientist's playground. You know what I mean? I want some of that.
Yeah, something new. Yeah, something new to play with. A new creature that's never been seen.
But you always got to watch those ones that preach virtue. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Someone who's always telling you how nice they are. Yeah. They're usually not.
Rosalita sniffed it out right away. She called a Chiquita or something.
Yeah.
She knew she was up to no good.
Oh, and of course, Rosalita is gorgeous. Like I'm just every time she appears in the scene now, I'm just putting that line in.
Yeah.
It's just no context, just statement of fact.
Yeah. Now I'm no gun aficionado, as I've mentioned already today. But later on, when she gets a gun and she's shooting with Tyler and Bert, that was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing quite like a attractive.
And she's another character, like
gun.
She's another one that they could have just elevated and made her the girl boss, and they don't. Because we get obviously in the next episode we'll talk about, we get other sides of her character.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. This is Nancy's show this time. Nancy's at the forefront.
She was. Yeah. So interesting thing with that. I wanted to get your take on it. I thought that she was like yelling at Bert. She seemed to be like very antagonistic the whole episode. I almost thought there might have been like another storyline that they took out in the editing room or that they didn't get to, or a deleted scene somewhere. Maybe something that happened with her daughter. Maybe her daughter left college and is living with some guy in a van somewhere. Like she seemed like really like she kept yelling at Bert. She kept, telling Bert, to listen to this new lady doctor, and not Bert. Not everything is, I forget the exact phrase.
Not everything's
Cold
oh
War,
God,
the Cold.
emergency, or has to be go to DEFCON 5 or
Yeah.
something. Just she's making loads of
Levi,
those comments.
Levi, help me out. Make me sound good. What was the line? Something to the effect of not everything is, is
Not
like
everything is
DEFCON.
DEFCON 5. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Thank you, Levi. I'm just gonna have Levi in
I
my
think,
ear.
but also we're seeing like this is the dynamics of the character. Don't forget, like Nancy and Bert are opposite ends. They're both opposite ends of the coin. Completely, like she's hippy dippy, flowers and love and peace and all that kind of stuff, and arts and crafts.
Yeah, but I feel like they've earned. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. Thanks, I feel like Bert's earned the benefit of the doubt, but she was like really coming down hard on him, and to the point where she finally apologized at the end of the episode, which was good to see.
Yeah,
But I
have you
really
ever been
felt
at a
like there was
family gathering
yeah,
and something that's been nagging somebody for like 20 years just comes out
it
at a
just come.
particular time?
Well, you think that's what it was? Maybe.
Yeah, do you know what? You have like a family and they've all, no, don't forget, they've already put this, they've been together for 20 years. It's in this close, they may as well be a family.
Yeah.
I mean, they may as well live in the same house. They're always, it's just the nature of where they live. They are a family.
Right.
They come in contact with each other on a daily basis. That's just the nature of the community. And if you're in a family and somebody's been bugging you for like, oh, you did this 15 years ago or blah, blah, you're always like this. And they don't subscribe to your philosophy and they have a completely different one, it's going to come out. And this was a high stress, I think it was one of the most high stress episodes.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of the threat.
Yeah.
We know that out of the three of them, actually, the Shriekers are the most devastating, even compared to the Ass Blasters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the Graboids are easily contained, or at least you have the technology to know when they're coming, and they've already figured out a way to manage that problem, as we've seen in every episode, with the wristwatches, the seismic gauges, and everything like that. The Ass Blasters are just hard to it's hard to take them seriously with the name, and they're very rare, and it doesn't seem to be as big of an issue. The Shriekers, because of how quickly they multiply and how fast they are, to me, of the three creatures, that's the one I would be the most
I think with the Ass Blasters have one purpose, and that's to go and lay eggs. It's like the end stage of their life cycle.
Yeah.
So their thing is to go away. They're not hunting and feeding as much. They will be opportunistic, but their job is to basically get away somewhere, lay a load of eggs to start the cycle all over again.
Yeah.
And finish the life cycle. The Shrieker's job is to eat as much as possible and multiply as much as possible to go into the cocoon stage.
Yeah, the speed of their
it's like turtles. Way turtles like hundreds and hundreds of eggs, and they'll farm out, and most of them will get eaten. If you think these things have been longer than the dinosaurs, they would have been predated upon. Like you could picture a T-Rex munching down a bunch of Shriekers.
Yeah.
Like off their own, they're not that, they are easy to take down. And if there's a bigger predator out there, like I would imagine, and I don't want to say it, obviously, because I don't like animals. Imagine like them going up against bull elephants, like or a rhino. Like they're not gonna, they're not necessarily going to come off the best.
Right.
Or even a pack of hyenas. They operate as a pack, hyenas operate as a pack and pick off, apex predators, there's not always 100% who's going to win.
Yeah, that's true. But to me, I think they're quick metastasizing. The way they multiply so quickly is their biggest strength, because we saw in this episode they went from 3 to, what would you say, 30? Like 3 groups
40.
of 10?
I think it was 40 on the count.
40. So they went from 3 to 40 within the span of a day. If you rate that out, I know they can't multiply every day like that, but still.
Yeah, that's actually a clever. Whoever wrote that in made a really clever evolutionary point. They'll only multiply in proportion to the food source.
Right.
And that's actually how nature works. You know what I mean? Things only multiply if there's an abundant food source. If not, they'll shrink down. It's clever. So you give them a bunch of food,
Yeah.
and they're going to obviously explode. So there you go. There's a whole, that's set up for a month or something. You know what I mean? Months worth of food supply plus the scientists.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank God I'm not a shrieker. I look like I'm ready for octuplets. No, you're right. Yeah, it's that's why to me that's always been the scariest of the three creatures for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and they even did it with the camera work here when we meet, what was her name? Miranda. She started talking about her life-saving shriekers. And I've tamed them. I am, basically being Frankenstein. I have become God. I have got it all sorted out because I'm McSmarty pants.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Did that strike you as a little odd, the way she was saying the purpose of the Shriekers, that the government is training the Shriekers to save people in disaster relief from earthquakes and from urban centers? Well, it struck me a little funny.
Aye.
And
right.
I had a thought about this.
A thought? Would that possibly be a theory?
It is.
It is. I guess it's a theory time.
Is there any other kind? A crazy theory time.
Let's bring it on. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris. Chris's crazy theory. Bring it.
So, when do we know the government to invest all of this money and resources in this secret covert operation? That's why they did this research in the middle of nowhere, the same site where they've had previous success as far as government bases and what have you. Why, of all the places, would they put this here? Maybe it's because they don't want people to know about it, perhaps. And why would you want people not to know about it when you're trying to help? As far as saving the world, rescuing people from earthquakes and disaster relief. So I started to think about it, and it just doesn't add up to me. I don't think the government would invest all this money and hire this military group to try to develop a rescue creature. What is more likely?
Really?
Yes.
I'm shocked that you would say something like that.
What is more likely? What use could a creature have that could see heat signatures in caves? Well, let's see. What was happening around this time in 2003? Was there anything that possibly happened maybe a couple years earlier?
I think I was getting ready to go to one of the places that you're talking about.
Yes.
Funny enough, I had a race. We got told that we were brought in. It was like, right, oh, by the way, guess what? January you are starting beat up training and then you're heading out. Merry Christmas. All right, okay.
Well, I feel very awkward talking about a silly show when you actually went and did a great service. So this now feels hollow.
Turned up. Let's not get above ourselves. It's me we're talking about here. So if I'm awake and dressed, that's a bonus.
Well, I'm just glad you're here, and thank you for your service. But anyway, getting back to my silliness. But seriously, I don't think that they would actually be investing all this money. I think they're trying to train the Shriekers. Look at that. I went to Staples and got it in color. They're trying to
I think
train
there's no doubt.
the Shriekers to use this newfound ability to see heat signatures in caves, because who was in caves in 2003?
Pesky terrorists.
Shrieker target number 1, Osama bin Laden.
Shrieker Team 6.
Shrieker Team 6. They were going to continue to do experimentations on the Shriekers until finally the ultimate goal. The Shrieker ultimate Shrieker weapon. USA, 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 USA. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I would absolutely believe that. And there you go, folks. That's not such a crazy theory. That actually would make sense.
They're getting smarter.
Yeah, they're going to be on this, right? Tinfoil hats for next week, folks. We'll be back with more. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris. Chrissy Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
Well worth the ink.
God, it just reminds me of totally silliness. We used to do daft stuff like going patrol with like plastic Viking helmets.
Oh, really?
Thanks. And also there would be cars like our wagons we go past, in the snatch wagons, and we we just have these things like slapped on the top of our helmets. Just mess with people, because that's what you did. You just you kept them on their toes. They didn't know what the hell they expect, and you used to make stuff up to pretend you had like scanning devices. So you'd like make stuff out of tinfoil and pretend you had like a new like detection thing. Just to,
oh my god, that's awesome.
Because most people weren't educated, in the sort of villages and that, and it was just it was like one of them counter intelligence things, but just having a bit of fun as well, because you just love to take a piss.
Or just put like a cell phone and say it's like a lie detector test, and then
and just you do all sorts of mad shit, and now you're actually told to do it, because that just kept everybody. Who the fuck are these Brits? What are they doing now? But we never told the Americans. And I tend to freaking, because you would always be going past your big huge convoys, about 50 gazillion vehicles, and we'd have like 4, because that's kind of the way we operated. And we'd stop and we'd like space blankets and all sorts and just do mad shit, and you see the freaking American going past this thing going
that's awesome.
I think we've probably been in many a scope, and they're just looking going, the fuck? Nah, leave them alone. There. Dear.
I think I got Levi to buy this one. Levi's with me on this one. He did not like my theory last week, which would debunk all of Tremors 4, which is the best movie.
But yeah, typical do-gooder scientist. Oh, we're really doing this, and I believe what I've been told. Yeah, okay. You stick that. I love the practical effects on this. Like they had the Shriekers. They did the combination of the CGI and the practical ones.
Yeah,
and you just had that whole Jurassic Park 2 vibe.
It looked absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah. 100%. I feel like they probably used 90% of the season's budget on this episode, because everything looked fantastic. I thought the Shriekers were great when they're coming through the ceiling later, not to skip too far ahead. That was like very realistic and like tense. I was actually watching a Tremors TV show, and like I was like tense, like, man, if they really got in and they had no weapons at that point besides the shovels, like, someone's going down.
Yeah, but even the way they did it, like you start get the wind, and it gets dark, and the rain. Like this is all set up of a horror movie, and then when you go to the encampment, you just know it's about to go tits up. You're just waiting for it.
I love that expression. Yeah,
and and then you see him trying to goad one of the Shriekers into its cage. And of course, these super clever people. That's what I love about horror movies. If you watch any horror movie where it has a load of PhDs in the cast, you know they're idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prince of Darkness and Prometheus are the two like best examples of this, but there's loads of movies. But when everyone starts off going, I have a PhD in this, well, I'm big brain this, I'm big brain that, you know they're morons and they're going to do moronic things.
Well, in their defense, how could they ever know that it would possibly rain and have lightning? I mean,
you're outdoors in the hoolie.
They never
and
could have
foreseen. And if you don't, like, what the hell was that cover? That was like, oh, let's get some, decorating. You know, as if you're going to paint the ceiling, you put it down the carpet.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That'll protect us. Sure, we've got all these millions put in this here. Let's not buy proper tents.
Yeah, a plastic tarp would cover it. Yeah,
let's put one of them garden. You may as well got one of them garden parasols. It was that shoddily put together, and I don't think it was. It would have been cheaper for the show to go to Home Depot used to have over there, and just go and buy a garden parasol. That would have done better. But I think they were showing the ineptitude of the arrogance and ineptitude of these people by the way the camp was set up.
I think so. Yeah, I think they were making a point with that they didn't think this through.
No, and I think that's part of the sort of joke.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this series. It still keeps the feel good factor. It still keeps the lightheartedness. And this was the most intense episode, but to date anyway. But it still had that lightheartedness. You can still chuckle as you went along.
100%. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I love that aspect about it. Like, it's not afraid to poke fun of itself, as we'll see with the next episode with Bert.
It was a classic. Absolutely.
Yeah. They do a good job with that. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you just know that these Muppets are dead. Yeah. Idiots. What are you doing? And you just see the ineptitude, and then the power came down. Oh, what a shock. Oh, lightning in the middle of anyone that's been out in the middle of like the hoolie like that, fork lightning's a thing.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for it to ground, so yeah, it's going to be you. If you're in a flat plane and there's a storm, you're the only thing that's going to ground the electric, so it's heading your direction.
That's true.
But sure, I'm only a thicko. I'm not a super duper like Ivy League college graduate, for an hour. How dare me have opinions and things like that.
Yeah, you're thinking too much. You just got you just gotta trust the science.
Yeah, and then of course we'll have Twitchell right in the scene.
He was great in this episode.
Twitchell the Twitcher, he was twitching like mad, just freaking out. I didn't sign up for this.
But there was like a genuine character growth moment for him when they're talking to him and they're saying something to the effect of, "Why don't you just leave this job?"
It was Nancy, because Nancy was on a roll this episode. She's feeling pretty defensive about her lifestyle.
Right.
In this one.
Yeah. But I love what he said. He said that this isn't like his dream job. I'm paraphrasing, but this isn't his dream job, but it's more important to him to take care of his wife and kids, which actually hit close to home. I had like a genuine connection moment with him.
Yeah, because if you've got a family, you've got a responsibility, and then you have to put other stuff to the side.
Yeah. I'm not in a dream job by far. I often hate my job, but I stick with it because, I love my family more, So I actually had a nice moment with him, and I'm hoping, and I know there's not that many episodes left, but I'm hoping that in some of the remaining episodes that we get to see that character growth reflected. Like, he was in a traumatic event and survived it with these people. So if next episode or the following episode, if he goes back to treating them the exact same way as an opponent, like, it's going to be like a little bit.
He's not really treated them as an opponent as such. I mean, we've had those little nuances of, I've got to sign this shit. I'm trying to make the best of it.
Yeah.
And also, when he's dealing with Bert, as we see in the next one, he has to play the hard ass, because that's the only way Bert responds. Bert needs that.
I agree with you to a
He needs
point.
to feel he's been put upon by the government. Don't forget, Twitchell represents the government.
Yeah.
So you have to. He's almost learning how to play Bert like the rest of them are.
Yeah.
You play into his paranoia, and that's the need that wee bit of antagonism. But once again, I'm not getting like Twitchell's never been a villain in this.
No.
And he's never been. It's not. God. Where did it? Tremors 6? The tax man?
Yes, Trevor 6. Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
that.
No, thank goodness. Yeah.
So if it ever becomes that, yeah, I hear you.
But all I would like to see, and it would just be a minor thing, would be one of the remaining episodes, if he was asked by the government on his phone or whatever to have them, evacuate or shut down the tour, and he stands up for them and says no, like just a one little moment to kind of like acknowledge
he's got their back.
He's got their back,
but he does it off camera, away from them.
Yes,
they don't see it.
Just a little moment.
I know exactly
I'll be happy
where you're coming from,
because then I'll feel like this mattered to him, this event, because they saved his life, and they have before, but this was like a really traumatic event, and they were, together in the foxhole together. Mm-hmm. Like I just feel like if that's paid off with like one little moment in the remaining episodes where he stands up for them against the government, it would mean a lot, I think, from a character growth standpoint.
Oh, did I click the wrong one? Ah. Oh, apparently, right.
We're good.
Good.
Oh, good to hear. Thanks. Yeah, look forward to that.
No, don't give us any hints, Levi. Don't spoil it. This is fun. Get in blind. But yeah, I think the good naturedness. I miss TV shows, I guess. And yes, sometimes you do want something a bit grittier, but I think the pendulum swung way too much the other end. This is still in the vein of Knight Rider, the A-Team, where everything's solved and nobody really, like, Bert's never shot anybody.
Right.
He shot lots of Shriekers, and lots of people got killed, but it's not that sort of thing where today, if it would have him shooting people, there'd be drama and there'd be infighting and people actually proper destroying each other, that's all it would be.
Yeah.
But this, because of the nature of it and the fact that they do have a bit of gore on it, strikes that nice balance.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, God, and also, yeah, bring Rosalie in again. Is this the one she goes to the? No, it's the next one. But yeah, Rosalie can't figure out 24-hour clock.
Oh yeah, just say 5:30, Bert.
Why didn't you just say that? I'm like,
yeah. Chang and her both commented on it. Yeah, they'd had a lot of like funny like lines like that. Like I like the one where in Bert's bunker where like the backup generator fails and everyone gets scared, and then a second later he's like, the backup
generator. That's a favorite line the whole episode. Bloody hell, yes, that's Bertism 103 or whatever. You know what I mean?
That was classic. There was just a lot of great things. I know we've said this ad nauseum, but
and he looked at the camera too when he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my backup generator. No, and all you need is a wee glint of the thing, in the
way. Yeah.
Like this is so close sometimes to breaking the fourth wall.
It's close.
Could you? I mean, it's like right in the cusp. But if I think I would ruin this particular show, but say they did one where Bert did break the fourth wall. Oh my God, that would be something on a different level.
Yeah. But I just love this type of comedy. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's all good natured and lighthearted. It's not, aggressive and lion peeing on you. I say this every episode, but I just this is the type of humor that I particularly enjoy.
I'm on board. Yep.
Okay, so it's the writers and the showrunner are doing a great job with that, or did a great job with that.
Yep. And the gore, like they really did turn it up.
Yeah, I was wondering if this is the highest kill count of any episode, but there was that one where the Shriekers attacked the town. But
Oh yeah, the second episode.
yeah, there was a
Yeah,
lot. There was a lot
but it
in
was
that
more
one
contained.
too.
This felt more. This is more. Was it Tremors 2 with the anti-aircraft gun in Argentina?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, I think the beginning of Tremors too, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
This was I just love the fact that they're like, right, click, straight up and like, get some, and they're all turning, and even Nancy's opening the door going, Bert behind you. Yep, got it. Thanks. And you're just like,
yeah,
that was an epic action moment.
absolutely.
Oh, is
What
it
I think
Tremors
was
3? Sorry, my apologies. Yeah.
oh, I thought I had that right. Don't.
Oh, that's right, because we don't see Bert until they bring him down to Mexico,
Oh
where
yeah,
Tremors 3 opens with him in Argentina, and then he goes back to perfection.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Thank you, Levi. Yeah, but what I also liked about this episode is that like we've heard about Bert's stronghold, that he's rebuilt it since Tremors 3, and he's talked about it. They've shown exterior shots of it throughout the first 6 episodes. So now it's already been built up in your mind because we know what it used to look like before Tremors 3, and you figure he built it up even stronger after that. So you have this idea where it's impenetrable, and then all of a sudden, the Shriekers are getting through, which makes it even more, adds up the tension, in that scene, because you don't expect that. Which it was a great story element that it's been built up, and now you get to see inside, and now it's not strong enough.
But also, we get a bit of, once again, a bit more of a look into Bert's character, because there's not the same passion, and it's just somewhere it's a place where he's mourning,
Mm.
and I like the way they brought up Heather in this at the end. Like, he just doesn't care. Like,
Well,
when he was with Heather, they built a home with a bunker,
right.
and even Nancy's having to go on about, we could do this, we could do that. Why? Well, for people to
Why?
come
Yeah.
around, this is a heartbroken man. It's I wasn't expecting such. For a comical character,
Yeah.
it's that whole edge. It's getting the edge lord right. There's a reason why somebody pushes people away
Right.
and keep people at a distance, and it's usually because they've been betrayed or hurt to a degree that they do not want to go through that again. And he's not throwing it around, and hooking up with somebody different every episode or every movie. He had one woman in his life, and it was Heather.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when she left, and the fact that they still managed to weave this into the storyline.
Yeah, it was subtle, but you're right. It was a nice story beat at the end where she brings that up, like, we'll try to make it more of a home. Yeah.
And you think even in Tremors 2, he had a couch, he had TV and stuff. It was still a home because they had, it still existed.
Yeah.
But when that was him and Heather's home.
Right.
But when it was destroyed, he felt no need to rebuild it whatsoever.
Right. But what's nice is, like, I think it's Tremors 2 when Fred Ward's character calls him, and he's sitting watching TV and he looks depressed.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see that he's been able to overcome that, and he's transferred his love of Heather to the rest of the community, instead of just wallowing in self-pity. He's actually been used it in a productive way, where he's like, well, I lost Heather, I don't want to lose my community, which has become my family, so I'm going to do everything I can to protect them.
We get that too as well, because at the end of the day, he could sit up in the hill on his own and not actually, he could be like Clarius,
Right.
but he didn't go that road, and he effectively became a surrogate father of the town.
Yes.
The nagging father, have you done this? Have you done that?
Yes.
Did you pack your lunch? Did you fill your jerry cans? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to look at his character, a surrogate father. That's great. Yeah.
Like, he even tells Rosalita, get your cows in the barn. So he's obviously got a barn with, it's implied but not stated that he's a heat-proof barn. It
Right.
doesn't show heat signature.
Right.
You know, we'll get that little hint dropped that the cows have somewhere to go. So even the livestock in this are being explained how they've got them set up.
Right. Otherwise, the Graboid would just eat them all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
For every time something happened, there'd be no livestock left, but they've actually got that figured out. You know, they've got things in place, and all these little hints are dropped.
Yes.
And
One
you
thing.
know,
Sorry, go ahead.
just not beating you over the head. Where today would just be beating you over the head. Yeah, you'd have to show the power, and that would have to be an entire 20 minutes of a segment to explain it. Where this is just a little subtle line dropped, so you know he's done something even to look after the cows.
Yeah. The one question I have that he and the rest of the town haven't figured out is how to replace that glass case, that glass display case inside Chang's Market. Because every time the Graboid comes through El Blanco, you always hear glass breaking. And they have to grab the glass figurines before they crash. I just feel like that might be something that should go the next time there's a a shipment of containers.
This stuff's amazing.
White tack. But just notice every time the Graboids come through, you always hear glass breaking, and they have to be frustrated, like, oh gosh, again. Well, you could fix that. You just get rid of the glass.
Yeah, or tack it down.
Yeah, tack it down is an acceptable solution.
Dear. And for once, this world, you know, I mean, they can't shape berries, but at least they can use radios properly. That's another thing that, for once in a movie, I am sick and tired of people going over and out. That is the right. Over means over to you. Out means the end of the conversation. So you're almost saying to somebody over to you and out, and it makes no sense.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Where actually it's voice perceived, you know what I mean? Roger Wilco out means the end of the conversation. Or if you want to radio somebody else's, Roger Wilco out to you. Hello, Bravo 30. This is Bravo 10 over, you know, and you do all that shit.
Right.
That's the only time they've actually properly used radio procedure. Somebody signed off properly. I'm like, I've only been waiting like 30 years for somebody to do it right.
See, this show has something for everybody. See, I believe I would have gone with whenever I'm done speaking on a radio, my call sign would have been I have spoken. I think that's a good way to end it.
I have spoken.
But yeah, that's a good
about it.
That's a good point, and I'll have to pay attention to that. So they're just supposed to say out.
That's it.
Out.
Yep.
Okay.
Because that just means the airway's now clear.
Yeah.
Someone else can jump, because once somebody starts a conversation, you're meant to, you know, you don't jump in.
Right.
And then when you hear out, it means you can then, like, hello 0, this is Bravo 10 over, you know.
That makes sense. I feel like I'm learning a lot this review.
Yeah, I'm going full nerd here.
I love it. I love the minutia. I love it. It's great.
That's it's wee clever things I got. You know, like I said, this is good writing that they throw things I got in.
Yeah.
That just gets that. Robert, that it is. That's what I said, Roger. Freaking Egypt. God, what was it? It became Roger in 1942. It was, oh my God, I can't remember now. The original phonetic alphabet. Oh no, it wasn't Romeo. It was yeah, that's what it was. I think it was Roger, and then they changed it to Romeo because Roger then got mixed up with radio procedure. 1942, there was a change where Roger became the thing.
Was that named after anyone?
No, just
okay.
Just phonetically sounding words and phrases, so they couldn't be mistaken for anything else.
Right. That's a good point.
There you go.
Levi, Colin has actual military training, so he brings a level of sophistication to this review, to these reviews, that I can only match.
Oh, all right, smart arse. Somebody's got Google. Somebody's sitting trying to be a smart. Oh, we've got a troll here in the comments. Yeah, they Googled it. Well, it was close enough. 40s. It was like it came off the back of the Second World War anyway. It was one of those things that were, it was just people finding it difficult because they were trying to figure all this stuff out. If you think of that 4 year period, technology, it's like now that we can't keep up. That was the same spurt in the 20th century of technology just racing faster than what people could handle it.
Yeah.
And every time there's a new form of communication, the world goes mad. Like now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The age of social media where everyone's like going, blah, and it's happened all throughout history. When the printing press became a thing, the world went mad. When radio first went in the air, people went mad. When TV first went in the air, people went mad. When the internet came in, people went mad. Then with social media, because they're two different ages, everyone just reacts to something about us being able to talk to each other drives us insane.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, I was already insane, so I'm not worried.
No, that's all good. But yeah, that was fun. And we were just waiting for the betrayal from Miranda, weren't we? We just knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like they're in the bunker and all the Shriekers are coming and just Power's getting died and we just knew she was going to do something.
Yeah, this is not the work of someone who's worried about saving lives from earthquake victims. I mean, she didn't care about lives. Her actions, the whole episode, she put all of their lives at risk. She put the life at risk of the person who came to rescue them in the van, who ended up dead. So this is definitely not someone who cares about saving lives. So
it's all about their ego and their work and to get their name in lights.
But even her work, I don't think it was intended to be well-meaning. I definitely think that she was being paid, by a high enough bidder to create a weapon. So I know my my crazy theory is silly, but I actually think that there has to be more to it. She did not act like someone trying to save lives.
But back to my thing, what I preach about, people that preach virtue, people that talk about how virtuous they are and how they want to do. Like you look at volunteer organizations, you look at charities, they have some of the nastiest people in it.
Yeah.
Like you will get stabbed in the back, that just in a heartbeat. Look at the healthcare agency, it attracts some of the nastiest people on the planet, and they get involved in that's where all the bullshit and politics comes from, office politics.
Yeah.
It's those sort of people. It seems to be, for some reason, anyone that wants to do caring work or good work tends to attract the worst people, and maybe it's because they're compensating for their vile characters, and then they can't, leopard can't change his spots at the end of the day. If that's how you're built, that's how you're built.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Yeah,
I started off, I was naive and fluffy, and I worked in nearly sort of like quite a number of them. There was this organization back home called the Peace People. There was nothing but peace. It was freaking war from day one. Like, honestly, the internal politics of that was unreal.
Wow.
Horrible, horrible people. That was just one example. There was loads. I've done community work and all, of just like the volunteer sector. Like, see people that work with kids. Oh my god! Like, you will meet some of the shittiest people on the planet and youth organizations.
No,
it's unreal.
Yeah.
That's why I'm the cynical bastard I am today, because I've seen too much of it and I'm like, nah, nope. I see through you. But yeah, Miranda's just that classic, I'm doing good work, so you all have to die for it, because that's more important in my warped moral compass. I'll happily set fire to a bunch of ammunition in an enclosed space. Yeah. And she didn't know Bert had prepared for the magazine going off, that everything directed towards ceiling.
No, she basically sentenced them all to death.
That would have wiped everybody out. Like, if the plot hadn't have explained what he had done, that it all shot upwards. If that had been like a normal crate, that would have just obliterated. That's like Claymore.
I've played enough video games to know that if you shoot any kind of tank, it's going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to do that in an enclosed space. That's for sure.
Yeah, that never mind the Shriekers. She could have wiped everybody out just happily, and then she made sure she got off the side. She didn't care. Like, this is not a nice person. Now, I'm glad she got her comeuppance.
Yeah.
because that's the time I would have wanted. Like, if it had to be me, I'd have put 2 on her. Like, she wouldn't have had a chance to give an excuse. It would have just been, "Duf, duf, fuck you, bitch." You know what I mean? If you're not the scenario,
Yeah,
sorry,
that
I can't. You can't have somebody like that at your back. You're just
yeah,
waiting for the knife.
that would have been a tonal shift in the
Yeah,
episode.
and that would have ruined it. But thankfully, they kept it.
Yeah,
That's why they're so clever. Because if it had been today, they would have done that and then ruined Bert's character.
right, yeah,
But the fact
yeah,
is that they let it play out itself. And then she realized, oh, the collar isn't switched on. There's back to the joke again of the camp.
yeah,
Oh, we're so smart, but we're also inept. That's just the way it works.
yeah.
So yeah, getting into the minivan and then, oh no, it's not switched, and then couldn't close the door, and then and even the blood going on the paris. Oh yes, but didn't talk about the periscope.
I love the
That
periscope.
was so much
course,
fun.
Of course, he would have a periscope. That is epic. I just imagine him like calling different places. Yeah. How do I get a periscope? Or maybe he built it. I wouldn't put it past him to build it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's built it himself, or he's nicked it off a sub or something. He's
yeah.
But yeah, because remember originally I had a glass roof in Tremors 3.
Right.
It didn't have a skylight.
I think so.
Yeah, so he decided no skylight this time, right? Periscope.
Yeah. I love seeing the inside of the bunker and the safe room and all of it. It was awesome.
Oh, that whole thing with the safe room. Yeah. It's birdified, bird spelled, and of course he's prepared for that. And then Twitchell like barely shovel going absolutely ballistic. Like a wee bit of claustrophobia there. Oh, sorry for things. I've had these on all day. I've been chopping videos and scheduling stuff. It's starting to irritate me now.
After a couple hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we see Twitchell having claustrophobia and like really freaking out and just and then the whole thing, why is he so prepared? Anybody else this door would have been able to blow off its hinges, but no, not Bert. Bert has it bomb-proof. Of course Bert thought of this.
It was great. It was a great set piece. Yeah. If we don't go back the rest of the season, it was worth it just for this one episode.
Oh yeah, this you could picture this. Do you know what? If I had done if Tremors 6 or 7 had been Night of the Shriekers, all I had to do was expand this out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You could easily make this into a whole movie and it would hold up with most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of on board with that. That was kind of where I grew up. That a lot happened.
The bomb building?
Like I grew up in Belfast in the 80s.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Google it. Google Belfast in the 80s and all you'll see is a boom explosion.
So I was a little surprised that a concussion grenade was able to kill at least 4 or 5. There was a ton of Shriekers in that tunnel, and it killed all of them.
But it wasn't. It was only used as a primer.
Oh, okay.
They basically made an improvised claymore.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is improvised claymore. You just get an ammo box or something. You just fill it full of shite.
Kids, write this down.
Yeah, and it's just nails, nuts, bolts, whatever there is. Anything that goes.
Okay.
Then you have if you're doing it properly, you have PE4, so you have your cart. Then you have your SV cord. That's your deck cord. So that goes in. Basically, this ignites at a certain temperature.
Okay.
But you can't light it directly. So you have to have something that lights. So that's your deck cord. That goes into your PE4. In this case, I didn't have that. So you use shotgun shells.
Okay.
And the black powder of the shotgun to basically get it done. So what you can either do is either light the thing at the end. It's the lighter get enough temperature or electrical charge. But the whole point is the deck cord lights at a certain temperature to ignite the main explosive. A concussion grenade on its own doesn't, and plus these aren't HE, they're concussion grenades, but it explodes at enough temperature, like a smoke grenade. Like, have you ever seen a smoke grenade? Those things, like you're always told never pick those things up when they go or afterwards because you get welded your hand.
Yeah.
They go at a certain temperature, so that's enough to basically ignite the rest of the shotgun shell. Because don't forget as well, you
Okay.
can't the powder as well in shotguns. You still have to get up to a certain temperature before it explodes. It's actually part of a safety thing. That's why the hammers are tungsten steel. You know, the whole thing's designed. It's great engineering when you think about it. But yeah, that's what it was. I just used the primer to get it to the right temperature so everything else would explode and go outwards.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense now.
But I just love, Heather.
Yeah.
I had radical friends in the 60s. You know, it was the 60s. I had radical friends.
I did not expect this review to go there, but that's interesting. Now it makes more sense. Yeah. Why that would work. Yeah.
No, Universal had to see all the 3-letter agencies, the EPA as well, and everything else. Yeah.
They had just pulled up to my house, and then they saw this, and then they started driving away to Colin's now.
Bring it on. But yeah, just fun doing that. And then Heather's like getting under her element too. But I love the way they thought duct tape it to the thing would actually do anything.
Yeah.
Because that was the flaw in the plan, because no way the duct tape would just come off.
Yeah.
You needed to actually press it against the, if you ever see door breaching, there's always the thing in the pole with the square plate.
Okay.
For it to go. So you needed to actually wedge something up against it. But for the purpose of this, yeah, why not? Duct tape solves everything. I love what they did with the heat lamps too. It's like, remember I told you about the engineering chart? Should it move? Yes, no. Does it? Yes, no. And all. It's either a can of WD-40 or a roll of duct tape, depending on where the diagram takes you.
Yeah. I imagine after this event that his stronghold is now going to have like ammo, like every square foot has like compartments of ammo, and
it's just going to be walls and you pull it down.
He always rebuilds stronger than before. Yeah.
It's always going to take him up to the next level. But that's if you think as well, look at Bert's character, a survivalist, and at the end of the day, he's the only one of that ilk that's ever been truly tested.
Yeah.
He thought he was prepared, and then you realize he's not prepared at all, and he's just rambling up. Yeah. And the joke is, that's the joke. Oh, he's over-prepared for everything while people are under-prepared. And then there'll be a ha-ha moment where they get Bert, and then there'll be a ha-ha moment where Bert gets the rest of the time. It's that family dynamic.
Yeah. It's so good. I can't believe we spent an hour and 10 minutes already on this one, but it's deserving of it. This is by far the best episode.
There's so much,
and they've all been good. Yeah, and they've all been good. Yeah, it could have been a movie for sure. Yeah, it would have held up with any of them, except for 4, the best one.
Absolutely right, but yeah, it all gets sorted out, and that wee bit about Nancy like tries to show him the brochures, and he's instantly rejecting it. And we get that hint, that his home was with Heather. And if you just read between the lines, you get that.
Right.
He's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And even when he's going away and he's community and that, and he's got a family, he knows, because you get that realization, he's got the family, and they know that that's the family dynamic. He's already got the family he wants.
Right.
Or the family he has now. He's got his family.
Yeah. He reminds me of like Gimli from Lord of the Rings, like the gruff dwarf who complains all the time, but secretly loves, not secretly, but just, hides.
I never thought I'd find myself about to die beside an elf.
Yeah.
And Legolas is like, could you die beside a friend?
Yeah.
Aye, laddie. I could do that.
Because he loves
best line in that entire trilogy.
Exactly. But he, just like that, Bert loves his friends. He has to keep that outward appearance, that gruff appearance.
Dale and I are doing The Hobbit at the moment, and oh god, fuck my life.
Yeah.
We did the Desolation of Smaug, and that was painful to actually watch and review.
Yeah. I watched
talk about another, and I've actually started looking up interviews, so the next one will have a bit more of a retrospective, because I've started looking up interviews about what was going on. Because I'm like, how is this so wrong? Now I kind of have the answer now, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about the next one. But like the sequel trilogy where they just got it wrong and they pissed all over it, you know,
Yeah.
things happened there. And
For
so
sure.
it's so obvious when it screams at you from the screen when they get it wrong. But here, yeah, this could have been Tremors 6.
I wish.
This could have been Tremors
Yeah.
5. Oh my
5.
god.
Yeah. Tremors
If
5 would
this
be.
had been, if they had led up to this, if you think of everything, they had kept this one to the side, they'd put another episode, because that's the beauty of it, is because it's not an overarching like serial, it's episodal.
Mm-hmm.
They could have taken this episode out and put another one in. And
Yeah.
then Tremors 5, Night of the Shriekers, and kept the same cast.
Yeah.
God, the franchise would have been going for another 10 years, another 10 movies, easy.
Yeah.
Oh, it just makes me so mad.
I know. There's still hope. Yeah.
Not with Universal, until a lot of these companies need to burn.
Well, that was the hope.
Yeah,
that was the hope.
They need to just get to that point where they've just run out of money. Nobody's investing in them anymore, and the money runs out and they can't print anymore, and then they just crash.
Yeah.
Then we can rebuild, or the shift moves that people realize Hollywood isn't the be all and end all. If people move away from Hollywood and start more independent, smaller studios with sensible budgets,
or just start selling off the IPs. Like if
that's the hope. If they start crumbling, then they start selling off the IPs, and then
that's what happened.
Crowdfund, and
that's what happened to that's what happened to Marvel in the late 90s. They were going bankrupt, so they started selling
Spider-Man to
Sony, and this one to so that's the hope. Universal will start running out of money, and they'll have to sell it back to to SS Wilson, right?
Yep.
To the original studio. Yeah.
Well, we just have that play out, but the problem is these things take so long because they get built up so gigantic, and there's just so much momentum that it just the crash comes as a grinding halt. And they're always playing games to prop each other up. Like, look at TV. Look at how many TV stations do not need to be on the air because they're shit, but they're propped up by bigger shows because it's all the weird nepotism thing and playing games and loss leaders and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's nothing actually about making quality. It's just existing. But anyway, it would make you paranoid.
But speaking of paranoid,
funny enough, nice. I'm glad you picked up that little segue.
We're so good now, like a well-oiled machine.
This was a good episode, definitely. And this is like completely flip the coin from the intensity of Night of the Shriekers.
Yeah, we're talking about a little paranoia among
friends.
That's right.
They really are out to get you. Now, this is basically Bert being shown a mirror to himself,
Yes.
And he becomes the thing that he hates. And it's so funny to watch it play out. It's like, like a modern day activist, an NPC, when their code goes wrong and they don't know how to respond to something. This is Bert. His programming's just been completely rebooted. He just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, Levi has a good point. He was saying that this is a good way to do the deconstruction of Bert.
Absolutely.
Because it's like you said, it holds up a mirror to his character, but does it in a way where you're not making fun of him, you're not putting him down. You're just showing like Bert to the extreme would be one of these people in a way,
Yeah.
Distrusting everyone, distrusting the government, and
there's some absolutely brilliant lines in this. And it's all done so tongue-in-cheek that you just gotta love it.
There is no government conspiracy.
And then you actually see him taking a moment to go, am I saying this?
Yeah.
And then hitting his life.
Yeah. I was really hoping they weren't going to involve aliens somehow, because I thought for a moment I thought they might have a twist where there actually would be some sort of alien because I mean, let's face it, they've already had some, you know,
I thought it was gonna be something else out of the lab, and then I was worried, thinking, "Oh no, if this is gonna be like every other episode is something out of this lab,
mix master, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be shit." I'm waiting for the trap because I just can't believe that this is so good so far.
Yeah. I love that they didn't do that they didn't bring in another creature, that they didn't bring in real aliens. Like they just kept it to the Graboid and to these people, and it was
Just
good.
put them in a new scenario.
Yeah, and it was like a great juxtaposition compared to the last episode. So if this is the correct order, they got it right finally, because after that last episode, you had nowhere else to go if you tried to keep that same tension level. You had to kind of make it a more personal story, like this. And I yeah, it was great, but in a much different way.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then we've got the sheriff, and they're going out, and you think it's just a radio tower, and you don't have a clue what's happening. But then
Yeah.
we're now back to over and out, which is like,
They didn't listen to
here we are, back to normal. Back to normal viewing, back to this crap. But yeah, we're getting no hint of what's going on. We just got the sheriff going out. Right, should I change the battery? Yep, it's that time in the log. You just think, oh, this is very well run down. They're all very conscientious about their jobs.
Yeah.
This is nice. No hint whatsoever what's about to happen.
Right.
But then I love the fact that it looks as if something's come from above.
Yeah, you didn't know in the beginning. It was very I think you mentioned it in the notes, very X-Files this episode.
Yeah, I made the X-Files reference, and then I got paid back for that. That's what I said. Both times I made these references. I made the Jurassic Park one as I was going through this, and then I made the X-Files one, and sure enough,
They're
breaking in their room as Mulder and Scully, and they're like proper using it. I'm like, bloody brilliant. I like it when I'm actually on the same vein as the creators. I'm with them with the jokes.
Yeah. That was a great homage, as it were.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's worth rewatching the series in the stupid order that they put out, just to see how jarring it is. Now I've watched it properly first.
I guarantee that cost viewers. It had to have.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to watch it in the put out thing, because like Ghost on spend the second episode, and I'm just going to see how it makes no sense, and then I think I'll understand why this has been arsed up.
Yeah, that had to have cost them viewers for sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
but yeah, and of course we're back in perfection, and Rosalita is gorgeous.
100%. She was hilarious in this one too. I love the scene where she's trying to figure out the coordinates. that was great.
That's what I mean. They could easily make her a girl boss.
Yeah.
And they don't. The play with both sides of her character, and she's tough when she needs to be. She's smart when she needs to be. She does figure things out, but she's also a bit dippy on it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's what I mean. It's like they do with Bart. They do with all the characters. No, there's no perfect character here.
Right. They all have flaws. Which is believable. But I can totally relate to her when she's like,
this is more Jodie's episode. Jodie's in her element in this one. Like when she's like proper,
yeah,
in her element, selling stuff and wheeling dealing.
But I love that even though this is a disaster, like Bert needs help, and he's radioing in. Jodie's like, I have customers. Rosalita, could you help with this?
No, it was Nancy said that.
Or Nancy said that.
Yeah.
Jodie's busy right now. Rosalita, why don't you help? People's lives are at risk, but Jodie's got customers, and they don't have a lot of customers. You got to take care of those customers.
Yeah, and the thing is, because of the actress, it's done so well. Where if it had been the actress that was in Tremors 3, God, this wouldn't have landed at all.
Levi hit on it. That was the best line. Oh, you mean north south? I don't do north.
South. Yeah.
That was such a great line. See, Levi, I don't think you would enjoy watching them over. I feel like you know them already. You know every line of them, so I think you need to to wait until you start to forget and then rewatch it.
Yeah, leave it about 5 years and then revisit.
Yeah.
No, I think Levi meant more for us, just because we're like doing this at a snail's pace and not binging it. Yeah, and Bert is in full. Like, this whole does not compute. Twitchell turns up. And this is where I'm saying he needs to be that bit of a dick sometimes, because that's the only way Bert will respond to it, that he's being put upon.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's whole, you're the government. Yeah, I need you to help protect the government and prove that this isn't a government conspiracy. You want me to what? And then that's where it's like, well, I can just have you thrown out of here. I'm the big bad government. You're going to do this because I'm threatening you. Oh, all right then. Because it would never be.
He would never leave the town because he's self-appointed protector of the town. So for him to leave the town, there has to be a good reason. And I think this is a good story beat. I think the writers had to put something in that was believable. Why would Bert be willing to leave the town, unprotected while he's away?
And just go work for Twitchell,
work for Twitchell. Yeah. So the only reason that makes sense is that he's doing it to protect the town. Otherwise, Twitchell would have them evicted. So I think you needed that. I think this is the second time, I think, right, where Twitchell's asked them. The one was with the town fair.
Yeah, the town fair was So I thought this was going to be every episode. Twitchell turns up, gives them a mission, and go and do it. But they've managed to keep it fresh. That when they bring Twitchell back like this, it's fresh. It's not, you're not tired of it. And this is only in like one series, and they've managed
Yeah. If they did this every episode, it would definitely get old. But
I'm get okay old and boring and repetitive.
I'm okay with it because every episode has been so different, and this is only the second time this situation's really come up. So I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, that's just the banter between them and that, and the know Bert's going to do it.
Yeah.
People are in trouble. Bert's going to go and help. They know it, but they have to. That sort of person in work that has to be their idea if you want to get them to do something. I still haven't figured out how to do that. I can't stroke people's egos. I'm terrible at it. But you have to make it their idea. You have to play their ego. So that's what Twitchell's doing. He has to play the bully and the threaten. So he's doing the lesser of two evils, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when we get Toulouse,
was that the name of the town?
I think so. Yeah,
Toulouse.
He arrives in. This is the only episode so far that's even got remotely political. There's any sort of real world political discussion happening.
Yeah.
But the managed to pull back, because that's the thing I would hate, that this became, especially today, politics is so poisonous and it's so stupid, and it's become like a zealous religion that it's just, oh god, here we go again. But this did manage just to draw the line of having the conversation, but without getting into the you must take a side.
Right.
And then the fact that they flip it, that they're talking about illegal aliens, as in extraterrestrial aliens as opposed to illegal aliens sort of thing.
Yeah.
They just managed to pull back from the brink, because I was just like, oh god, this is going to go to a bad place, and I don't want to have my enjoyment ruined of it.
Right. And it also touches on a real issue, like we mentioned earlier in the review, where people just are unwilling to open their minds. So if they have a set idea, it's just very difficult, I think today, even more than it was in 2003, of just keeping an open mind. So when they feel that it's aliens, and they're being told every day by this radio host that it's aliens, so they're what's that saying? If you repeat a lie often enough, people will start to believe it. So I think that's what's happening. They're hearing this guy who's, very well spoken, very well regarded in the town, saying this thing over and over again, and they start to believe it. So here they're being presented with other evidence, and their minds are closed. They're not willing to.
That's because they don't want it to be true.
And it's also bad news, so they don't want to believe the bad news too.
Yeah, because they believe that all these people went missing. It's easier to believe they were taken away by aliens and they will be brought back than accepting loss.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's the worst thing as well, especially they having even if you hint at having an open mind or open to ideas, then you get dogpiled on by lunatics who want to convert you.
Well, yeah.
You're almost like, it's almost like blood in the water to piranhas. Like you almost have to like not give any opinion or anything, or say you're open to suggestion, or you have to be hardline, because just to keep the idiots away who are zealots.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it's about. I hate the way discussions just went out the window today. But yeah, we're seeing this played out in an extreme fashion, but it can so translate to today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please tell me the next 200 political episodes. It's gonna do my head in. Yeah, because if it is, I'll be like out. Can't be, especially American.
No,
politics.
You made it this far. We made it through episode. If you watched episode 7 and you're still here, we can make it through anything.
Yeah, we're nearly there. I just hope they don't shit the bed.
Movie 7. I meant movie 7.
Oh yeah,
you can watch movie 7.
Watch movie 7. Yeah, God.
But that's a good point. You say like the town was very similar to like a Twitter mob. You mentioned that in the notes, which I thought was a great point. And just like a Twitter mob, they're all bark and no bite. Like, what did they actually do? Like, basically, if they believed that Tyler and Bert killed their police chief, all they really did is they threw a rock in their window
and let down his tires.
And it let out his tires. That's it. If they actually,
I don't understand the letting down the tires thing.
Yeah, because then they have to stay.
Yeah, it's like, leave. I'll let down your tires so you can't.
Yeah,
off this huge vehicle that isn't going to load carry.
Yeah, they're not the smartest mob. Yeah, that's for sure.
But mobs aren't smart.
No.
And there's always the agitator.
Maybe that was the point they were making. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the birds screaming out, "There is no government conspiracy!" And then you have that moment to pause where he goes, "Did I say that? Does not compute. Oh no!" And you just see him like his whole world belief is come crashing down. He's like, "Why am I in this position?"
Oh my God, that was the best line. That was the best line. And the fact that they called him a government plant. Those are the two things he hates.
And a fed.
But government plant, he hates the government, and he hates plants that come out of the ground, like graboids. So government plant is the worst thing you can call him.
Yeah, he's just basically seeing people who are like batshit crazy. You know, they're just well, it's not really it's trauma, you know. It's not even that they're like, you don't hate the town.
Yeah.
Like, they're dealing with trauma, and they're doing it in a, you know, the denial aspect of it.
Right. You feel bad for them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. You don't even hate the townspeople. You do feel bad for them. You realize what they've done. And the radio guy, who I forget his name, he's doing this all out of grief. He's not processed his grief. So this whole thing has become his coping mechanism. And of course, if you've got a strong personality and you're people who are going through a similar thing and they're susceptible, that's how you get groups and cults and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And if maintaining a radio thing is at the end, what are they doing that actually hurts people intentionally?
Right.
You know, on the surface level, there's nothing wrong here.
Yeah. But I love how the episode got resolved. I love the fact that the radio host like owned up to it, and he said like, now it's tough. I have to get used to the fact that my wife is not coming back, and it was actually a good acted scene. I don't know.
And we'll get a Bert moment too. We'll get another call back to Heather in this.
Yes. That brings up a good point. I wanted to ask you about this. I know I'm up against the clock, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Do you think if Heather didn't leave, in what ways do you think Bert would be different than he is now? And in what ways do you think he would be the same?
Right. He wouldn't be as antagonistic, because even in the town, like in Tremors, the original Tremors, they were the happy couple, you know, and they just did their thing, but they're still engaged, but it was more friendlier, you know. Bert wasn't as bitter and twisted.
Right.
And he just took people as he took them.
Do you think he would still be the town protector? He would
yes,
go to the same
I think
extremes?
they both would have, because they both would have taken on the role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they were more or less, they were a team. So the both would have taken on the role, and I think Heather would have been a sort of softer side, even though she was tough.
Yeah.
Like we saw with the whole getting into the picking Tremors 1. I know it was only a one, supposedly a one-shot movie, but even getting into the digger and stuff, and they have their bags and they're dropping it, they're both interacting with the town.
Yeah, but I almost feel like the fact that Heather left him has really made him want to protect the rest of the community and just use all his energy to a more extreme. I
Yeah,
don't know if
and
he would be
he's
as
put it into that. Yeah, he's put it
yeah,
all into that, but not actually the relationship building. That's the bit he's having trouble with.
yeah, yeah,
You know, and it's the bit where he rejects people as they want to welcome into the fold, and they want to nurture him, and fill that void in his life, and they want to, you know, get the softer edge, and he rejects that because he doesn't want to get hurt. So he wouldn't have
right,
been. I think actually, if they were working with him and Heather, they'd be more brought in line. The softer side of them, but that hard edge Bird has is 100% due to Heather leaving, and they've kept this all the
yeah,
way through, and it's brilliant.
yeah.
They
I like
haven't
that.
beaten you over the head with it every episode, but we've got a bit of a hint, that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's
I
his
like that.
major breaking point was Heather leaving.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it.
But yeah, this was the whole thing with Rosalita and getting her to go to the bunker, and then Nancy came up with an idea, she put the radio to the phone, just there are all these little in jokes, and Rosalita getting
Yeah,
it. And basically what it is, the tower is the thing that's calling the graboid, the vibrations.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's like feeding a gator. Gator knows if it goes this patch of water, people are going to throw food to it.
yeah. They
Or he
mentioned
used the
that.
bear with the picnic basket, that sort of thing.
Right, right.
Or
Yeah,
the rubbish, the trash can, he used that analogy. Same
yeah,
thing, wild animal realizes their food source.
yeah.
So every time they go to
100%.
change a battery, and the fact they never twigged on that every time they go to change a battery, this happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
then the
great.
fact that Travis comes in and goes, "Oh, these are bad aliens." He uses the same tactics Twitchell used and Bert to get him to go do it. Travis used on town.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The reverse psychology.
Yeah, so good. I love it.
Yeah, Rosalie. How'd I get you to direct? Oh, Nancy came up with a high tech solution. It's just so many of these little jokes are thrown in, and they're not beating you over the head. It's just
Yeah,
great.
I
But
can't
yeah,
wait.
the whole
I can't wait for the next one. This is great.
and the goo in this was absolutely spectacular.
Yes, yes.
And the whole fact he's waiting to shoot this Beretta, and
Yeah,
Travis did it. You took her out in you sailed her in her first voyage. You know what I mean? All the pseudo sexual references as well, just brilliant.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Completely different tone than Night of the Shriekers, but like you said, it was that good come down episode.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, fantastic.
Looking
Right.
forward to the next one. Yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna. This is awesome.
Yeah, we kind of ran over time there, but Chris, as always, mate, thanks very much. Thanks everyone tuning in. Levi, thanks for your
Levi, thank you so
contribution as
much.
always.
Yeah, you make it more fun, Levi. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. But there you go. There's another one done. We're 5 more episodes to go. We're nearly there.
Yeah.
But just easy to say, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific. Shrieker Team 6.